Greetings, mortals. Follow me now through the mists of time, into the darkest firmament of the abyssal plane, to pierce the veil of destiny betwixt past and present, and gaze unblinking at the shadows of things yet to be, that we might tempt the ire of Kronos and decipher the conjecture of what may come to pass in future times.
It's a prediction show. I'm gonna guess about things that are gonna happen in movies, TV, and such. That's it. It's pretty much the idea. Figured the whole soothsayer, fortune teller, Nostradamus, I predict aesthetic might make sense as a gimmick. Thought about calling the show Nerdstradamus or Bobstradamus, but turns out those are taken as some guy's Instagram handle, or like two different guys' Instagram handle. Anyway, roll it. Let's just see where this goes.
Avengers 4 will be a time travel movie, and the title will be some variation on Avengers Forever.
Ah, yes, I see. The only two mysteries from the known unknowns build-up to Infinity War and its filmed concurrently yet untitled sequel were that the title of the second part couldn't be revealed early because it would be a spoiler in those weird location photos of various characters wearing their uniforms from the first Avengers movie but standing with other characters who didn't exist back then. So here is what I am thinking. Assuming that the title itself isn't a spoiler because it's someone or something's name, like Avengers, The Conquest of Kang, or Avengers vs. Thunderbolts, or Avengers 4, but the 4 is the Fantastic Four logo. Wouldn't that be something, right? The main way the title would be a spoiler would be if it was borrowed from an existing comic storyline, like Age of Ultron, or if they called it Secret War, Secret Invasion, Kree-Skrull War, that kind of thing. But I don't think it would be any of those because they rely on specific villains and situations, and we already know that the villain and situation is likely to be Thanos, right? The 50% of still alive Avengers have to go after him and kick his ass, but successfully this time, and undo that whole half the universe is dead thing now. Also, you have to figure that Disney and Marvel both went looking for a premise and title that accentuates the event nature of the film. That this is the end of the first stage of the MCU and that it'll be the last time we see a bunch of these characters, and we're celebrating this decades-long, generation-defining movie-going experience and looking to the future. So what I'm thinking is, Avengers Forever was a 1998 miniseries by Kurt Busiek and Roger Stern, the premise of which was really complicated, but basically it was a time travel story that involved putting together an all-star Avengers team consisting of not only specific heroes, but versions of heroes from certain specific important points in the team's history where the powers and personalities of the team would be most useful in the given situation they were facing. Now, I don't know if the movie will go all the way into that concept, but I do think they'll borrow that title and the time travel, probably by use of the Time Stone or some other methodology, gimmick to go back into the events of the previous Marvel movies, like maybe to get the Infinity Stones before Thanos does, since they know where they'll have been now, or change the past in some other way, and that will somehow be the key to whatever they have to do, and that this will probably tie into why Captain Marvel had to be set in the 1990s, and why the post-credits scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp that connected it back to the end of Infinity War made sure to have Michael Douglas gratuity toss in, "Don't get sucked into a time vortex, Scott," along with all the other continuity exposition stuff that he kept doing. Oh, speaking of Ant-Man and the Wasp, supposedly 16-year-old actress Emma Fuhrmann has been cast and shot scene as Cassie Lang in Avengers 4. Cassie Lang, of course, being Scott Lang's daughter, currently played in the Ant-Man movies by a different actress, Abby Ryder Forreston, age 10. So, unless there's a misunderstanding of the character names at play here, this detail suggests that some amount of Avengers 4 will be set a significant amount of time after Infinity War, which I guess would make it the first post-apocalypse Marvel movie? I mean, you have to imagine the third world is pretty fucked up after the whole Thanos snap thing. Or, if I'm right about the time travel storyline, it could indicate we'd see future timelines and maybe future Avengers, since Cassie Lang in the comics does grow up to be a size-changing superhero in her own right named Stature. Wouldn't that be a way to try out a bunch of cool other character ideas and not necessarily have to commit to them? Hey, look, it's Miles Morales. We don't necessarily have to do him right away, but look, there he is. But why do a time travel story at all, I can hear you asking, when, hey guys, let's all kick Thanos' ass, but effectively this time is just sitting there as the more obvious continuation of the story? Because it lets them do a clip show. That's what I'm thinking. Remember, Avengers 4 is not just the end of the Infinity Stone storyline, the Thanos storyline, Phase 3 of the cinematic universe. It's more or less the end of the MCU as we've known it up to this whole point. At least one, possibly more of the original Avengers is probably going to die or otherwise get taken off the board permanently. And even the ones that don't die probably aren't coming back with the same frequency because a bunch of the actors want to retire from doing this stuff every 2 years and do other movies from now on. They're talking about maybe even the Avengers itself not being the recurring main franchise going forward. And if it does, it won't be this version of them. So if this is the end, they're probably going to want to mark the occasion and celebrate it. So this would be a clever way and maybe even kind of moving way to do that. Track back through the greatest hits moments of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe saga up to this point. Give the audience a chance to revel in the memories and callbacks and the whole what a journey we've been on together, huh guys thing. And yeah, well, I don't expect them to overdo it. If they wanted to take the opportunity and fix continuity errors that people keep talking about, or unkill some people that they don't want to be dead anymore, sure, they could do that. Hey, maybe this is how we'll find out what happened to Uncle Ben, or if there is an Uncle Ben in this universe, even.
5 years ago, I had a heart attack. I dropped right in the middle of my backswing. It turned out it was the best round of my life because after 13 hours of surgery and a triple bypass, I found something 40 years in the Army never taught me. Perspective.
And as for the title, well, shit, apart from the obvious pun, Avengers Forever, I have to imagine that Disney likes the idea of being able to brand a year and a half worth of advertising for the supposed end of an era release with a title that explicitly spells out a declaration of intent to never, ever, ever stop making these to the audience and their shareholders. Yes, we know a couple of the main guys are going away and we haven't 100% closed a deal for the Fox X-Men stuff yet, but don't you worry, we're gonna keep doing these movies until the heat death of the universe or until this idiot blows up the planet, whichever comes first. Needless to say, I'm Bob and that's my nerd prediction. Am I right? We'll find out probably pretty soon, since now having put up a prediction video, we will probably get the title drop like tomorrow, because that's how my luck goes. Yeah. Hey gang, here's a question that keeps coming up. If your handle is Movie Bob, where are your movie reviews? Well, my old reviews are in a lot of places. You'll find many of them on my YouTube channel, but you'll find the brand new ones on Geek.com, an awesome site that's also your one-stop news source for science, TV, gaming, technology, nerd culture, the works. You can find all my reviews directly by going to geek.com/author/bchipman, because that's my real name, and you can get regular updates on all my reviews and all of Geek.com's other great content by signing up for their kick-ass newsletter at subscribe.geek.com. And don't forget to also subscribe to the Geek.com YouTube channel, where you'll find the videos that accompany my reviews and tons of other great content too. Remember, that's Geek.com, the Geek.com newsletter, and Geek.com on YouTube. Make sure you don't miss out on all the latest Movie Bob reviews. You can also check out my own new website, Movie Bob Central, where you'll find my blog, links to all my work, and shop for my books, ebooks, and future Movie Bob products. And please remember to like these videos, share them with all of your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another Movie Bob production.